Okay, I believe I am live, so I can say welcome back to more Nova Arcana developer commentary with renderXR. How are you today?
Hello. Doing pretty good. A bit tired, but ready to push on.
Indeed, aren't we all? So previously
Mm-hmm.
we got through, I think, all of Intersection 1, and now we're ready to start on Intersection 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't on my list of things to ask, but I am looking right at the sign that says Submarine City, and it makes me want to ask, submarine? Like it was a lava area, like the city was kind of under the lava a little bit, but I was wondering if the submarine somehow referred to the ghasts, or if it was because it was kind of under a liquid, or what inspires the name for this area.
Um, there's actually two inspirations. One is from a game called Pikmin 2, where one of the placeholder names used to be Submarine Castle,
Okay,
which later became Submerged Castle. And I really like that name, so I kind of want to put it somewhere. So it finally made it in this one.
I see.
So then this one would be Submarine City. It's also that you kind of go under the lava at some point.
Okay. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's it.
was I was wondering if somehow, yeah, it had something to do with the gas turrets. Yeah, we don't necessarily have to start with that area. Which area would you like to go into first?
Maybe the secret
Oh, that's
behind the
right. There's the
gravity.
intersection itself.
Yeah, so for people who are who have good eyes or good hearing, will notice the villagers here, and they're basically just an upgrade of the in Section One villagers.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find, so you're guaranteed to find them at intersection three, and you could maybe find them at intersection two. So it's kind of like a semi step up.
Right.
Is the idea. And this is the lost chest as well. It's lost. It's an old meme.
Oh yeah, okay. I did not notice that before.
I think nobody noticed that.
I see.
And then here I tried to play a little where you could see a lamppost, so you're like, oh hey, what's this? And then oh, it's around the corner, and then you found some money.
Money, money, money. And yeah, I
Money,
guess you
money.
could see it behind the villager if you were going to talk to him as well. Or you could see one of
Mm-hmm.
them, I think.
Yeah.
So that was one of the secrets in the intersection, but there's actually a few of them, as I recall.
Yes. There's I think some extinguishing leggings over here. I like putting chests or money or little resource pockets on places just around the corner where people would not normally see them.
Right.
So yeah, I put some fireproof leggings here, which
For,
might be helpful if
yeah,
you
for, the,
jump in the lava.
for this intersection, yeah, it could actually be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Even though people aren't too big on fire protection in general, yeah, just the fact that it'll put the fire out pretty quickly if you happen to step in the lava would be nice.
Yes. And then it was difficult to kind of hide the emerald, so I kind of made it a little bit easy with just putting it here.
Yep, that was, I guess, one of the easier emeralds. The fact that there was already an emerald at intersection one also kind of like made it more inspiring to hunt for an emerald here. And yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember. Yeah, like the hints probably said something good about it too, but I didn't really look at the hints in my playthrough.
Mm-hmm. Actually, don't remember what the hint for this one was, especially since it's such an easy one. And then there's the infinizer over here,
Right, I did
pretty
find that one. I remember.
pretty close to. So the infinizer is the same one as the one on the intersection above. 'Cause you can find them around the same level.
Right.
So I thought, you know, give them the same level of infinizer. It's a
Yep.
pretty good one. Knockback two.
Yeah, the knockback two, yeah, especially in this area, starts becoming very valuable, both because occasionally there'll be overwhelming numbers of enemies, and also because there's a lot of lava around that you can just hit them into. So if you don't want to fight, you can just defend.
Mm-hmm. And it gives also a little vista at all the areas you're gonna die horribly in. with
Ah,
some jumping fire. So,
yeah.
how I made these jumping fire? There's actually a spawner under the lava,
Mm-hmm.
and it has different fire entities that shoot out at different y velocities. So they shoot up at different speeds.
Right.
So it's like some go higher and some go really low. And they fall upon slabs because otherwise they start doing really glitchy stuff.
I see.
The game is not meant to do this.
Got it. But it's just like kind of like falling sand, but as a fire block or fire texture block kind of thing,
Exactly.
and then it just disappears. Yeah, it ended up being cool looking. And then I guess there's also just like campfires that are giving the smoke, or
Mm-hmm. Precisely. I think I also made it so they act similar to anvils where they actually do damage, but I'm not sure about that.
I don't need to test it.
Let's see. Nope. Answer is no. Oh,
Literally unplayable.
unplayable.
Falling fire doesn't deal damage.
Unplayable. I'm on a new map. Just remake the whole thing now.
So yeah, we come up a staircase, and surprise, surprise, coming up a staircase, it never gets old.
It does never get old. It's my favorite thing, watching people freak out while they're in the labs.
This one was pretty nice though because you come up here and like if you kind of get stuck here dealing with this, like nothing is immediately coming at you. Sometimes you have some of these silly traps that while you're kind of busy, okay, I'm gonna block this over with some blocks or whatever, and while you're while you're doing that, like all of a sudden, something else is spawning or coming after you. But until you got a little bit further into this room, it wasn't too scary yet.
Yeah, I agree with that. I try to be not too dickish with them because they're more of a joke.
Hmm. But yeah, we don't have to get too
Um,
far into here before the first gas begins to spawn. I'm curious, when you did these guys, like, do they all have the same range? And do you know what the range is off the top of your head?
on the spawner,
Yeah.
I think it's 100 blocks.
Okay.
They have quite a. It's one of the first things I made because I think they have one health as well.
I see. That I did not realize. And I already can see that there is an upgrade. One of the criticisms I had of the map was with the gas towers not giving a whole lot of feedback. It was my first time interacting with the target blocks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very hard for me to tell when they were hit. But if you want to try aiming at one now, I can see already that it's going to be easier to tell.
Oh,
Because right
nice.
below it, there's a little glowstone thing that's going to light up. Woohoo! You scored a hit.
At
So
first,
even
it used to be redstone lamps and then a wooden button on them.
I
But
see.
since target blocks got introduced, I was like, let's use the target block instead. And
Indeed.
I didn't put in a lamp.
So yeah, I'm glad you added the lamps.
Hmm.
Because yeah, the TNT is just so slow that it became very difficult to tell to get the
So
immediate
this,
feedback of when you get the hit.
hmm this first little section is just a tutorial section, basically trying to teach the player, hey, there's walls, there's ghasts, it's gonna shoot you, and then there's also this mob where it's just the first spawner you see, it's right in the open, so
Mm-hmm.
you immediately get to know what type of mob this is and what
Right.
it does.
And I guess he just sets you on fire, I think.
Uh-huh. He's like a knockback fire spec guy.
Okay.
And he also reminds me of the guy from The Mask with the green face and then with the two Macarinas. So
Oh,
one of the streamers actually got the reference as well.
I see. It did not occur to me that it's kind of like he's shaking the little things or whatever. I was going to ask why he has it in both hands, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the reason.
he could be making some music.
He's very musical. He's got some hot music. It's on fire.
Nice. And Yeah, this is, I guess, one of the first places that some people will find a large pocket of iron, which will no doubt be a very happy sight.
Mm-hmm. This is the part of the map where I basically want people to have iron armor most of the time, if not all of the time.
Yeah, once they've gotten intersection 2 or 3.
So you first get like enough for probably 1 people, 1.5 people for a full set of iron armor, and then later in the area you find a whole bunch of it.
Yeah,
So you at least have a stockpile. It's always the difficulty of trying to design for multiplayer because you need to put in more um, ores.
right.
You have
Um,
this curious pit as well. Or
yeah,
is this to dump the minecart in that actually like generates the bridge
I
later?
see. Yeah, I was wondering what would happen if people had obsidianized this by the time they eventually get the shortcut. But yeah, I remember finding this kind of at the beginning, and you go back here and you realize that it connects back over to the intersection with the little dig thing over here. Dig dug.
Big duck.
I think it was just like 3 blocks or something. All right, it's 4 blocks, 4 or 5 blocks. And it
Sounds
was like,
reasonable.
okay, this is a minor shortcut, but it wasn't clear why it was
That's what I really
valuable.
like
And
about
then later
this.
it becomes clear. Yeah.
That's what I like about it. Is people are like, "Well, huh, why do you do that? It's like useless." And then they later figure out it's like, "Oh, that's what he's doing."
Indeed. But yeah, this was hard to guess because, yeah, you're pretty good at not using too much command block trickery, but this was a nice kind of like command block trickery when this eventually hooks up. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. Just a little show off, which is a little bit fun. And there's 2 towers, and one of them has blocks low,
Hmm.
just some standard blocks, and some mean drop creepers.
Yeah, I remember these creepers. I very nearly died here. I think somehow I like caught myself on like the side ledge over here at one
Oh
point.
yeah,
I remember
wasn't there a
this being
creeper
very
who
scary.
wasn't there a creeper who walked the ladder, or was that somebody else?
It might have been me. It might have been somebody else. I definitely remember seeing it, but I don't remember if it was my own playthrough or one of many other people
Mhm.
I've been watching.
I do remember you got like a ninja spider out of the sky that just dropped down and just didn't take any fall damage. Look at all the skeletons.
Ooh, Spider Jackie. Hey, buddy.
Oh, that's rare actually.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's random.
I can make them more common now.
Oh, right, because of the
Good version.
biome changes setting the spawn kind of thing.
Yeah,
That could be cool.
I'm curious what will happen with that if people use less spawners and
Spawners and
more
more, yeah.
custom mob spawns, which
It's
you can control
definitely
pretty well.
an interesting possibility. But yeah, I
I
remember
just
kind of struggling with the beginning of this area, but I guess also at the beginning I didn't know about the target blocks, and so I had more gas firing at me still until I figured out
mm,
what we're doing here. So,
yeah, there's not too much saying, hey, you should try shooting this.
but yeah, I was glad that my chat was kind of helping me out because I did notice like the weird new block or whatever. Um, and, but yeah, being too ignorant of Minecraft. So I'm over here and I have a little bit of glare in my room right now because it is a sunny afternoon. I
Hmm.
can't see. I can see a little bit of the money over here, but of course, so I didn't find it in my playthrough or whatever. And No Leaf Clover steps out here and he's like, "Whoa, that's a lot of lapis or whatever," and I can't see it until now. I can see it,
Yeah, it also depends on how bright your screen is.
right? So yeah, I wouldn't have minded if there was, like a redstone torch in the wall over there or something.
Hmm.
Or the other thing that I wouldn't mind, and I forgot to notice when we were over at the merchants, or maybe it's going to be the next merchant that we eventually get to, is if there were ever night vision potions anywhere in the map. I think there might have been one in the whole map that I was aware of.
Yeah, I think I know exactly which night vision potion that is.
Hmm. Yeah, it's up in the ceiling
Um,
up there somewhere.
my mindset here was, oh, there's just a ledge over here, so there gotta be something here, right?
Right, that's
Like there's a
not
ledge and a broken
unreasonable,
bridge.
just from the ledge. But yeah, I think I was still being fired upon by gas and didn't see anything over there, and there's an obvious way to go over here, and yeah, that was the end of my
Hmm.
exploration until uh,
And
I
that
saw it in someone else's video.
was the end of your tactics. So where did the spider? I guess the spider just fell from
I think,
vertical
yeah, just
mine.
from the mines or something, like above.
I was watching your video and I was like, did the spider just fall and just cling on the side and then take no fall damage and then come after you?
They can
I
totally
was
do
just
that.
I was just so flabbergasted by him. Just a ninja spider.
Ninja spider.
So yeah, now you can get shot by the left by that ghast and from the front right there.
Right.
The
And there's some
area.
blazes starting to spawn across the way.
Hmm. So the idea of this area is I strategically put little islands and walls everywhere. Basically guide the player through the area
Mm,
and still give him walls to hide behind.
right. Yeah, I
Which
don't
is
remember.
inspired.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was saying it's actually kind of inspired by Half-Life 2, how when you attack the city, there's also like walls and there's some lasers shooting enemies at you.
I don't remember when it was that I really started to appreciate. I mean, this is actually a very good spot because you're kind of breaking the spawner here and you also break the line of sight with the ghast as you do it. I feel like it was somewhere around here or somewhere getting in the first building when I really realized that, okay, there's a lot of walls here and I can break line of sight from the ghasts and try to figure out the different ways to attack them because then I was also starting to see, okay, yeah, there's the, um, can't think of the name of the block. Target?
Targets, yeah.
The target on the side of the gas spawner over there, but I think maybe on the first one we've already blown it up, but it had it like on two sides, and so you could see it from multiple directions. But then all of a sudden it was down to where you had to find the direct line of sight to where you could actually shoot the targets on each of these.
Yeah, so the first one I make sure you can just always see it, and the second one I make it so you can only partly see it from the side. So it's like, oh, I will not see it from every side.
Right?
And then I later, when the actual area kind of begins with the big houses,
Yeah. Sometimes they're kind of
then
hidden around the back, and you have to get past it.
you have to get around them before you can actually take them out.
Right.
So they're still a little bit of a threat.
And while we're
I also
here,
need. Go
uh,
ahead.
I there were like little buildings like this that seemed to just
Uh-huh.
house some blaze spawners in them. And so, oh, there's a chest over here. You know what? I don't think I found this chest. Oh, and it has a
Oh, this
crossbow.
is a
Is
new
that new?
one. This is a new one.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah, these were mostly for decoration. And
okay.
also, I put the blaze spawners there for people who water bucket the whole map.
Got
'Cause
it.
while I kind of envision people doing that,
Right.
I still want to make it a little bit challenging.
Got it. So
And
that's
also,
just kind of like the penalty for just water
yeah,
bucketing across the lava. Okay.
it's really not a big penalty because the blazes will just get hurt by the water anyway.
Right.
But still a little bit of an inconvenience. And then we have a tree. I don't remember if I gave out a spruce saplings yet, so I was like, I am just gonna put a spruce tree here because otherwise War will complain that I didn't give out a spruce sapling.
That's fair.
That's exactly what this tree is for.
And yeah, I mean, it also could be, if people blew up the tree back at um,
Right water, yeah.
Brightwater, yeah, and somehow didn't get their saplings from there or whatever. Like, it's good just to hand them out in other places. Obviously, they could have had
Mm-hmm.
birch easily from the other area, Brightwater, and some other stuff from Verity Passage, maybe, but this is good.
Mm-hmm. It's always good to put multiple sources of resources.
Yeah, especially
Wave
when once
one,
it's past like the area where you're not trying to like starve the player anywhere from the beginning of the map. Yeah.
exactly. Well, sometimes it's nice if there's no way back, and the player has to make kind of a forward base, and then he's kind of limited on resources.
Oh,
So
right.
it's like you don't really see that in CTM maps anymore because
Because of teleporting.
yeah, teleporters everywhere, so it's kind of redundant. But
Yeah.
I really like that aspect, and I kind of wish that came back in some shape or form.
Right. Kind of needing to make a forward base and either bring stuff forward or use whatever
Actually,
resources you have.
yeah, actually setting up a whole base. So this branch of 2 houses just leads to this chest, which is seemingly random loot.
When you say seemingly, is it because there's more to it, or it just is?
It's just the way I place it as well.
Okay.
I choose like, okay, these blocks, this amount of tools, armor, and I put them on the respective rows.
Right. And an ender pearl in this area is pretty nice because it's one of the few ways that you could kind of save yourself if you really get in trouble.
Yeah, I think I put a few ender pearls in the chest here just to make sure.
Yeah, there were 2, I think, back over by the tree too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we basically get back to the island, and then you go into one of the main buildings.
Um, I guess maybe I'm misremembering. Like I thought I would have encountered a magma cube already somewhere over here, but maybe not yet.
It's right on the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Bridge.
Yep. Hey, guy.
It's a little magma cube. Magma cubes were thematically really fitting, so I thought, why not? Because you're like a boiling cave at the bottom.
And it wasn't until I saw Kit using this spell is when I discovered just how good this spell of Lingering Flame is against the magma cubes. And so it was one of the main reasons that I started carrying this around again, is basically both because if you get stuck to where you like need to block yourself off in a corner of a wall, you can kill guys through the wall, and also when you get overwhelmed by magma cubes, like just set out one of these Lingering Flames and then pick up a bunch of souls and you're back in good shape.
Yep, this spell is really a really good defensive spell. Many people probably like not really figure out how to use it,
Yeah, I didn't see many
but
people use it, but it is, yeah, quite good.
you can be creative with it. I want to make maybe a cheaper version that first totally immobilizes enemies, and then maybe it's kind of like a frost one, and then it gives a slower wither,
Got it.
and then buff this one a little bit in terms of damage output, and then give it out a little bit later, maybe. So you have like 2 stages. But that could be like for a future map.
Indeed. And then, yeah, this is where I remember things starting to get difficult because now you've got the
Hmm.
verticality coming in as well. And I remember getting like constantly knocked off, and there's creepers and all kinds of stuff.
And there's gas shooting through every window.
How easy or hard was it to line that kind of stuff up? And did you just kind of like place the gas somewhere on the map and then go to places where the player would be and like knock out some windows? Or did you
It
have some kind of
actually
rhyme
took
or reason? Yeah.
it actually took quite a bit of designing of, okay, I want a tower here, I want a tower here, because I can't put them too close to things because of the TNT.
Right.
So I knew like, okay, open spaces here, at which Y levels do I put them at the different ones? And then when I decided for the Y levels on which kind of faces they would cover, then I would basically poke in holes like this one here, just to make sure that they have more chance of actually shooting the player.
I see.
And then there's a little side bench for the jumping table.
Oh, right.
These houses are also, I think I did a good job at copy pasting houses without making them feel repetitive in this area.
Yeah, I
Because all the
agree.
houses have the same design. It's like the same corner asset, the same wall asset, and then you combine those two, and then you get a building.
Yeah, and I think because they were also kind of like differently broken down and also chaotically positioned around this area. Um, and there was a
Hmm.
lot going on. Like, obviously, this was kind of like a step up in difficulty compared to Intersection 1. And so the player is just getting into some decent armor and getting used to all the new stuff that's going on here.
Yep. I think that's quite important when you're copy pasting buildings. It's mainly for map makers, of course, that you try to break them up or add something else to make them different. Like no tower has the same layout. Maybe the first two, but they're also similarly positioned. Kaboom!
It's very satisfying to blow up those towers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good fun mechanic. And I think, trying to think, did you use it at least in one other place? I can't remember. Well, I guess Submarine Castle, obviously.
Submarine castle, yeah. I don't
That might be
remember
what I'm
if I
thinking
put them
of.
in another map.
That might be all that I was thinking of.
Uh-huh.
But it's fun.
I did put something similar in Corona Trials with
Yeah.
it was just gas spawners near explosion cubes and
Mm-hmm.
dragon crystals.
Yep. Yeah, that, or if someone has a flame bow and there's TNT, yeah. I guess there were a few ways in previous maps that one could do that type of range destruction.
Mm-hmm. And then you would naturally, if you didn't like make a ladder up, you would go this way. And then from here you have two ways to go. You could either go up the ladder, which is what most people did,
Mm-hmm.
or you could go down this path.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't
Mm,
think I saw anybody like try to do the bridge over here, except for I think I did like run over here at some point just to try to find where would be a good angle to shoot this guy from, which I don't remember if it was. Yeah, it's back here.
it's purposely on the back. I
Yep.
also made it so so people would try to kind of take weird side angles, and then it would be even more satisfying when you hit it. At least that was the idea. I
Neat.
think it kind of worked.
Yeah, adding the lamp there. Adding the lamp there makes it so much better. Ah,
Hmm.
that's so satisfying to see it go off. All right. So yeah, if we went upstairs, I think there was some decent loot up here.
It's a path forward.
I see. Yeah, I'm misremembering how this area was laid out.
So there's a path towards the upper part of this like little
Got
lobby
it. And of course, I didn't
section.
come this way. I just tried to pillar up right at the beginning because when I first walked in this area, I was like, I think maybe I don't think the creepers from up here would spawn already, but maybe
Yeah,
there's just a
yes,
random
they do.
spawn that like fell on my head or something. But I was immediately like, okay, we got to do this top down.
Oh, okay. You do hear them fall when you're like on the lowest level.
I see. Maybe that's what it was.
Hmm.
So yeah, I immediately started trying to come up here, and it was very difficult.
Yep. This is probably one of the areas where trying to take most of the fun path would be easier.
Yeah.
Unless you would like water bucket everything. But mm, so yeah, you can go up another level, which just has another random loot chest.
Hmm.
Or you can go to the main house.
Ah, right. So this is the one that has the giant kind of lava coming into the ceiling that I guess was related to the clue for where to find the emerald.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just like
Um,
subtle little things like this. So there's like a spawner in the corner, and I guess it's set up in such a way that, daring players, if they just want to parkour over or whatever and try to break the spawner that way. But otherwise, you end up with just creepers sitting on the ledge waiting for you.
yeah, so this is just a drop creeper little platform. And I also just like to keep parkour here and there in, just to see also what speedrunners do
Hmm.
at times, but also just for players to actually try to make jumps, because that's fun as well, instead
Yeah.
of having to bridge towards everything.
I think you talked about it a little bit in one of the previous streams, but someone's asking which tools you use to make the map. And I know it was multiple.
Mm-hmm. I use MC Edit, which is for up to version 112. I have Voxel Sniper and World Edit, which is up to these Voxel Snipers up to 1.16.3, and World Edit I used faster sync edit, which doesn't work above 112. So most of the map was made in 112, and then I converted it and then
Got it.
replaced quite a few blocks. And a bit of wall painter, but I will get into that later.
Okay. And the endurance charm, the advanced endurance charm. Yeah, this is the one that gives you 3 extra heart. Was this one always here? I guess it must have been.
Yeah, yeah. This one was always.
I ended up.
Then-
I guess I just stuck this in a chest and didn't really use it until the end of the map because I preferred having a shield or preferred having some other things. But I did end up using this toward the end, and it was quite good.
So there's all the basic ones which you can find in section 1. There's all the advanced ones. There are 2 of the advanced ones in section 2 and 3. So you find 2 advanced endurance, 2 advanced speed,
Okay.
Terra, Gale, endurance, and something else.
I do remember,
You
yeah,
will-
that there were a couple that I found duplicates of. Okay, yeah.
And you will also find 1 moon and sun, which are the strongest ones.
Right.
Because they have a lot of buffs and one debuff. You can find 1 of those in section 3, and then an advanced versions of those in the final intersection.
I see.
That's how I planned those out.
Got it. And was the duplication in like one of them in intersection 2 and one of them in intersection 3 for the people who happen to do one before the other, or vice versa?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay, yeah.
I don't remember exactly where they were. I think Gale was in the Boneyard and in the Obelisks. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't remember all the
Okay,
others
yeah,
were.
yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to that. I did come to intersection 3 before intersection 2 to try to get kind of more advanced weaponry and better stuff, but there wasn't actually all that much better stuff at intersection 3. It was in intersection 4 where things really got great. But yeah, I wasn't able to find intersection 4 fast enough to kind of give
get
me
to
too
that.
much of an advantage, so that was well designed from the point of view of pacing the map.
Yeah, I tried to not make in section 3 give too much loot, so in section 2 wouldn't become trivial.
Right,
And at the same cost, I wouldn't make in section 3 too difficult for that same reason.
right, yep.
Because of risk rewards. And just magma cube floor. So if we go a floor down, this is the also the second area where people might miss a record really easily.
Yeah, this is one of the few places that things were relatively hidden, I feel like. I did manage to find this without too much trouble on my own, but I think I did see at least one person who didn't find this, at least like on their first path through this whole place.
I got the message from one of the streamers who were like, "Hey, we have every record except for one, where is Vines, which is this record."
Hmm.
So I told them, well, every area has one
Yeah,
record.
I mean, yeah, if they were paying attention, it said that, I think possibly in the monument as well or something.
That's for the emeralds.
Oh, that's
But
for the
yeah,
emeralds, right.
that's basically implied. And then I also told them at the same time, um, Submarine Castle and Submarine Citadel City are 2 different areas.
Right,
And then they realized, oh, that's exactly where we need to be, the city.
yep,
So the combination of those 2 factors is really what's
right. Yeah, it didn't
confused
occur to
people.
me that people might, yeah, confuse or merge those two areas in their head. So yeah, it was kind of you to give a whole bunch of arrows over here, as I recall. It was just
Block.
one stack, but it was still nice, given.
Yeah, so mainly blocks for people who are running out, because this is a
Right,
block
yep.
section. And arrows. And there's also this little wall here constructed for... I like how this wall looks so weird.
It does look very weird. I don't remember. Oh,
Now I fixed it.
got it.
Now you cannot see through it anymore.
Right,
They changed how walls behave over some versions.
yeah, I can imagine, yeah, like upgrading from one version to another, it also might do weird things, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this one, it was. I took it pretty slow, and if you took it at a reasonable pace, like it was pretty reasonable. Actually, most of the people that I saw did fine. It's like one of those areas that looks super duper scary, but actually isn't that bad, but feels like you're always kind of hovering on the edge, and so it's fun to play.
Mm-hmm. I tried to put the blaze spawns kind of on the opposite sides everywhere, so it would feel pressured, but the area is actually not that difficult because it's manageable because it's so light. There aren't many mobs around.
Right. And yeah, you're also kind of, you can pace it so you only are bringing one or two spawners into play at a time if you choose to kind of like take it slow and step forward and step back, which is what I did. I'm sure there's going to be some
Mm-hmm.
people who just go racing through.
That's the skilled people, and then it's made so you can actually easily parkour everywhere.
Is there
It's
any
not.
danger with these iron grates? I guess you can't just right click them because they need redstone or something.
No,
So,
they're mainly decorational
got it.
and
Okay.
to scare people. I think you could do with redstone technically, but who's gonna put a lever down or something?
Indeed. And yeah, I didn't see anybody really spend much time looking around here. Were there like any secrets down at the base of the lava or anything crazy like that, or was it just a simple dungeon for the wool?
It's a simple dungeon for the wool. I don't remember putting any chests, like secret chests around. You could technically, well, I haven't seen anybody do. This is slabs. You could just simply break this and just
Oh, that's
kind of
funny. It didn't even
continue
occur to
building the
me to
wall
try that. Yeah.
and see no one do it.
All right, so then that's another example of like the fun path being successfully fun looking or something.
Mm-hmm. Or people are just too distracted to actually notice the decoration.
Right. Yeah, I
It
suppose could
wasn't
be.
intended for people to do that, but I expected people to do that once I finished it.
I see.
And then over near the records, there's some fun tidbit as well. There's one piece of black concrete powder, and some people have been asking me, why is there like an error that's there? But that's there for nether portals to not just get created.
Oh, by the random blaze shooting. That's funny.
Uh-huh. That happens so much in uh, the Solar Citadel
I
in
see. That's
the
very
dark
appreciated
portals.
as someone who had some bad experience with nether portals in this map.
Oh,
But yeah, I did not even notice that. But obviously, I was just happy to have gotten the objective at
the
that point.
records. Uh-huh.
And yeah, this was also forget what order I did things in, but yeah, this it ended up going down deeper than I thought it would. Like I hadn't really paid attention to Y levels in terms of like on the F3 screen or anything. But yeah, when you first kind of came to this area with all the lava on the ground, you just kind of like get the sense, and there's so much sky above you, you get the sense that like you're near the bottom of the world, and then it turns out, nope, there's still a whole lot below you.
Nope. Yeah. The I think I had to move everything up, um, like 10 or 20 blocks because the boneyard, the lower dungeon, wouldn't fit in there.
I see. Yeah, that was yeah, also kind of surprising and extensive.
Because that one goes deeper because it's 2 floors instead of one. So yeah, then you finally get to this part, the back of this one. And then you have the same copy pasted tower here, just
I feel
made
like
differently again.
also things like now we're walking on brick stairs over here, and I feel like there were stone stairs in another one. So do you also like change up the materials like that?
Yeah, I always just
Yeah.
kind of try to use different blocks, just so things don't feel too samey.
I just did it. I just walked off the stair. I was about to comment about this was another place where you did something clever with the ladder where people would fall off, and I didn't realize that I was already about to fall off.
Ladders always look like you can just grab them, and then you can't as well.
Or you get people distracted with mobs and they climb up just fine, and then they forget when they're going back down and they fall down.
Hmm.
This was nice.
This is a really good sword for
Yes.
this early in the game, or this far. It's looting free, sharpness free, sweeping edge free. So it's the sharpness actually also works on the sweeping edge, I believe. So that's nice.
Yeah, I repaired that sword until it could not be repaired anymore.
Hmm. I was hoping people would try to do that.
But yeah, then here, like the ladder went kind of all the way up to the ceiling. I'm not sure if it was because of that and um, if you were like intending for people to come up here. I guess you were intending for people to come up here because there was a secret that I think I didn't find.
Yeah, so at first it only went up to the slab, and then I thought I could also make it just go one block higher, so people would kind of get the implication of, hey, you can dig up,
Right.
which is also used in a different area in the boneyard with one of the ladders. So I was hoping people would find a secret here then.
I see.
Bow.
So I saw, yeah, other people find the secret. Instead, it caused me to get up here and say, I'm pretty close to this. And I bridged across and started doing the rest of the area kind of backwards, which ended up being an advantage because there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff pointing down this bridge that's kind of meant for you to be struggle coming from the front. And I did not struggle as much coming from the back. So I don't know if that was
Mm-hmm.
intended as a side effect or just kind of like happened to work out that way.
Mm-hmm. Somebody asked if the looting and fortune works on the ores, and no, it doesn't. I think mobs have a 1 in 6 or 1 in 3 chance of dropping nuggets, and then the ore is always 1.
I see. And was there a reason for that? I'd actually had that in my notes as something that I wanted to ask about in terms of.
It's mainly so I could control it more, because fortune can get out of hand really quickly, and especially in a map where I don't want an oversaturated market, kind of, is the idea.
I see. Yeah, if you happen to get a Fortune 3 pickaxe, like once you had the enchanting table or something, or even Fortune 2 maybe, then all of a sudden you triple your money and maybe throw off the balance.
And it's like, what do I do with all this money now? And then it's not that much fun anymore to collect it.
Right. I guess the trade-off was that it just kind of, I don't know, defied expectations. Um,
True. But then once people got a bit, and they're like, okay, I can
yeah, it
do that.
was definitely discoverable. Like I remember kind of explicitly trying to test it out and deciding, nope, that just doesn't work. Okay.
I could also try to make it a chance of dropping extra nuggets, like 33% chance of one extra nugget dropping and 66 or just 100% of one extra. So like 33% per level of dropping an extra nugget, so you get 2 instead of 1.
Right. It would make it less overpowered, but then, yeah, it might also just make it more confusing too, because people wouldn't be expecting that. I'm not sure.
That's true. I think there's this little section down here.
This was another place that I remember. I don't remember if it was actually difficult or if it was just scary because there was a TNT and there were magna cubes spawning and there were creepers coming from I wasn't sure exactly where.
This section can get pretty scary because the big magma cube, the TNT, and then the creepers from the both sides. So there's like 4 spawners. There he goes. Magma cubes have quite a bit of armor, especially the biggest ones, so they take quite a while to die.
I see. So it's not just that they're tanks and hit points, it's actually that they have an armor rating. I don't think I ever realized that.
Yes. I think in Goliath I was messing around with making really big magma cubes, but the problem was you could not kill them because their armor rating was just too high.
I see.
Because it goes above diamond armor. So it was like borderline 100%
Mm-hmm.
armor. And then on the opposite side, so there's this little thing that sticks out here, just so the creepers could actually like walk towards you and jump off.
Creating a path for the enemies. How nice of you.
I'm so nice to the player. I love them so much. And then there's also, oh no, there isn't. That's I guess a different section where there's like light around to make sure that they don't spawn on the outside, but only on the inside. I sometimes try that as well.
I see.
And then there's a small lapis pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yeah,
now slowly handing out lapis pockets just for the enchanting purposes and the
indeed.
bookshelf purposes. Purpose I.
And I'm trying to remember, was this the only enchanting table you handed out in this intersection?
Yes, there's one in this intersection and there's one in the intersection above.
Right. Okay.
So it's like whichever you do first, there's equal chance of getting what you want.
I see. And so this is the path if you want to do things forwards, that you'd kind of come up here. And I did see some other people taking this path. This is another case of just kind of a simple aesthetic or whatever, but having the, I guess this is granite or whatever, that kind of makes
Mm-hmm.
a path that just kind of shows the player, like, in addition to this being an open cavern, and obviously there's points of interest up here that you want to get to, it's like, I don't know, just this very simple way to communicate to the player. Here's the way. Here's the fun path.
Mm-hmm. What I would most often do is when the floor is actually different material than the walls and ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
just so you recognize, okay, all the mycelium is walking space, and all the stone walls is not meant to be walking space. And you do that subconsciously, but that's me also trying to guide play on, hey, this is where you should go,
Right.
and this is where you should not go.
And if you
And
did follow
then
this path, you got good things
good stuff.
with danger, but
Mm-hmm. It's a mini fun box inside of
I guess it was 4x4
somewhere
creepers this time. Yeah.
2x2, yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
10,000. Whatever.
Ooh, that's a massive fun box. Oh yeah, it's especially fun. It's a fun path because there's a fun box. And I was hoping people would kind of climb this because there's money up here, and then there's this window up here with light, and it's like, what is this?
I remember back from when I first climbed this tower, I think, looking up at the sewer grate lava coming out at the beginning and thinking that this was going to be a place to get to. And so by the
Mm-hmm.
time I got over here, like, I think I was already planning to kind of come up here regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the idea of just making this seem like something where you would have to go, and then when you don't get there, then you might look at it back and you might look back at it and be like, okay, this is something I can still explore.
Yeah, there are a few places that you could look back and it looks interesting. Should we go up there now, or do you want to do any more in here right now, or?
We can, I guess, first do this little area.
Okay. This is one of the few places where I was disappointed that I was not carrying around the Gale Charm, I think it's called, for the speed.
Oh yeah, because it's all flat.
Yeah, it was a bonus area, and immediately I came in and I was like, oh, it's all flat. Man, I wish I had the extra speed right now. So, if people had a water bucket on them and immediately turned this into water, does it break anything? Or turned it into water, turned it into obsidian, does it break anything, or does the switch still do the same thing, basically?
The obsidian does not get removed, if I remember right. So if I now pull the lever, then the obsidian stays.
I see. So, I could imagine that someone obsidianizes this whole thing and then pulls the lever and doesn't see any change and gets confused. I didn't actually see that happen to anybody.
True. I was So the idea is that there's stairs here, and these
Right.
stairs would kind of infer, hey, it goes down here. So people would be like, oh wait, what if I just go underneath? And then when they obsidianized it, then they realized, oh, okay, I should maybe not put obsidian, not put water on the lava.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those things that, yeah, I was kind of like worried about what could go wrong, but haven't actually seen it go wrong. And so maybe I'm being overly worried or paranoid or whatever.
That's because I design good. So this is one of the scrapped areas that I really did want in the map because it's just such a fun concept.
So when you call it a scrapped area, is this just like you'd made it for something else before and then decided it didn't fit into some other project and threw it out kind of thing? Like,
I had a lot of ideas for all the areas of this map. Like I had doubled the ideas in terms of the extra areas I could put into this map.
hmm.
Like the whole Verde Passage part, I was actually thinking of having a big uh, tree trunk that you could climb, and that's one dungeon, and it would be like a big beehive hanging off of it,
I see.
and, you, and that would also be a dungeon. But that's basically a whole nother intersection that I
Right.
didn't want to put in this already big map.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm getting some big frame lag.
I'm still doing okay.
Might be my PC
I
confusing.
do, yeah, I do know that some people, when they hit the button to get rid of the lava, like that was a lag point, which makes sense because it's not only a bunch of block updates, but it's also a bunch of light updates.
It also does some weird lighting bugs, like here.
Oh, yeah.
I learned how to fix this. If you only remove the top layer and then basically the last layer turn it into just flowing, so non-source lava, it will actually disappear
Oh,
itself
right, right,
and
right.
you do
Yeah.
a manual update,
Yep.
which will be more effective.
I see. That's good to know for later. And
Yep.
then also in terms of like this mechanic, like was this inspired by something? Did you already say this?
Um, Not necessarily. I guess those Zelda puzzles that where you like let water where you let the water level drop and go up again,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe Wet Dry World from Super Mario 64,
Okay.
where the water also goes up and down. There's plenty of games that do this,
Yeah,
so
I feel like yeah, it's
all of
kind of like
them.
an idea that uh been seen perhaps a bunch of places, and so maybe someone was calling out a reference to it, and that's what I was thinking of.
Hmm. So all the levels are basically equally high. Always two levels get removed,
Okay.
and it's basically try to find a lever in the area.
So that you can discover new monsters to kill you.
Yay. This dungeon can be pretty easy because no natural spawns can spawn in lava, so I had to put a little bit more spawners around, but I would still think it's not that much.
Eh,
So this area should be relatively easy.
I see. And so, so what you're saying was this? It wasn't just like a layer of lava. It was all of this was kind of like contained in lava up until you hit the button.
Yes, it's all just it's literally just filled with lava, and I just use commands that replace.
Okay.
It's
I
like
didn't
the
realize it
fill
was
replace.
that many blocks. I was thinking it was just the layer that we were seeing, but it's like where we're standing right now used to be lava.
Yes, so it's like everywhere is
Got it.
lava. Actually, if you go into spectator mode, you
Oh
can
yeah, I guess I can do that for the next layer down. Oh my
basically
goodness.
just lava everywhere. And you can actually see some weird pillars in the corner.
Yes, maybe,
If
maybe not.
you teleport to me.
Okay. Oh, now I do. Yep.
So these are kind of dividers for the different lava levels.
Okay.
So I can basically select different layers because they're also made so that the command for removing lava, because they you can only do it up to a certain amount of blocks, just so the game doesn't
Right, right. Yeah, I remember that there was a
crash.
limit and used to be
So
very small and they upped it to something more reasonable, but it's still pretty limited, yeah.
it's still relatively small. So I had to try to edit it, like to make it proper. Yeah, the dungeon is pretty linear.
Yep. Yeah, this was yeah, I mean that's what I expect from the bonus areas or whatever. It was kind of like a little fun run. You knew you were going to get an emerald and probably a new spell, so you had things to look forward to, and yeah,
Hmm. I think this is this bridge is my favorite part of it because there's two blaze spawners right here.
Yes, they
And so
were.
when you flick the lever,
Yep,
they finally are able
immediately.
to spawn.
Yep. And they weren't in an obvious place, and so you'd like come back across, and then you're just dropping blazes down below.
Mm-hmm. Then they will spawn.
Yep. And so if you didn't see them the first time around, then you'd end up with a bunch more blazes by the time you got down there. And it'd probably take you a little bit of time to get down there, because as I recall, there's cave spiders too,
Yep.
which are a
Cave
good
spiders.
mob for causing people to back up.
They always People always kind of overreact with cave spiders, especially because every cave spider in this map has slowness. So
Ah, very
their
nice.
hitbox is because their hitbox is kind of weirdly delayed. It feels like,
Yeah, I mean, I
but
feel like
this
anytime you do something, the game runs at 20 ticks a second. So anytime there's anything moving with the small hitbox, you're always looking uh, a 20th of a second ago. And at normal speed, if they didn't have the slowness, like they can move like halfway through their hitbox, probably, I would imagine.
hmm that's also why I put the quickest swords in because this game is just not made. At least the hitboxes aren't made for that type of combat.
Right.
And so this is the final room. I always like to have the final room a bit bigger and a bit more spawners, so it's kind of like the final push, and it feels like you actually worked for your objective.
Right. Do you know what the range on these spawners is, just offhand?
I think they're just 16.
Okay, yeah, it
If
just
they're
might be the normal 16. In any case, it was close enough that you'd be busy with this floor up here, and then you go down here, and it's like, oh, I've already spawned 20 mobs.
I try to be careful with that kind of stuff, but in this dungeon that was really difficult.
Hmm. Yeah, obviously you have kind of like the height limitations of how the dungeon is designed in terms of taking the lava away.
Yep. Click. And that's the last one. I might redo this mechanic or type of dungeon and make it a bit bigger. Try to expand on different ideas that you can do with this, because I think this still has untapped potential in terms of level design. So then we have the Dragon Breath spell.
Right. And so this one, I experimented with this one a bit, just when trying to understand exactly what it did. And somewhat as expected, like it was a little bit dodgy. Like I experimented with the target blocks and like trying to shoot them to see if I could use this to shoot at the gas spawners when I got to Submarine Castle and some other things. And it kind of worked, but sometimes it didn't work the way that I expected. And so I'm curious how you implemented it.
Um, I think it gets blocked by torches because it's basically just a ray tracing.
Uh huh. And it's kind of like looking through until it hits something that's not air.
Yeah, so it's a recursive function, so a function that keeps calling itself.
Mm hmm.
That it basically just looks forward. It's an armor stand, and then it looks forward again and looks forward, 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 and it keeps going until it finds an entity. Oh wait, I think I removed that part actually. Or if it hits a block that's not air. So right here it would basically explode.
Mm
And then
hmm.
it summons a firework and puts mobs on fire and gives them wither. And also all the mobs that it goes,
Oh.
the ray itself has a um, smaller effect. Because if I basically shoot this way, it's still gonna hit the blaze because he was kind of too close to the laser coming by.
Mm hmm.
Even though I shot all the way over there. But it does a lot of damage if it
Yeah.
actually like hits the mob.
Right. Yeah, I used it to kill some parrots inside the monument, I remember when I was testing it out. But yeah, the fact that how much did it cost? Just like 2 soul stars, I think. Yeah, it only cost two,
Uh-huh.
but 2 soul stars was still kind of expensive for a single attack.
It
Um,
used to be free. This item can be pretty good if you know how to use it.
I
Kind
see.
of like the other one again. especially in the fundaments, this one can be fun. If you have like 5 enemies close together, you can just shoot at their feet, and then you hit all 5 of them, and you get 5 stars back.
I see. Okay.
It's
So
kind
yeah,
of like an
that's
investment you're making.
yeah. I didn't see anybody else do it, and my own experiments, like I was just experimenting in the monument on trying to hit a single enemy, and so it didn't occur to me again area of effect kind of aspects. So I don't immediately have brilliant suggestions in terms of tutorializing it or incentivizing the player to discover the full effect of the weapon. But yeah, when you make cool things like that, like if there's some way that you can kind of highlight it better, exactly what it could be used for.
I could maybe when you walk back from this room, I could drop a bunch of zombies on you and just try to get the player to actually use the item that way.
Mm-hmm.
May and also putting a little tutorial zone at the monument could be cool, like we discussed earlier.
Right. Yeah.
I got all 4. Oh yeah, the blazes. So yeah, there was this dungeon.
Okay. Gonna fly back out in
Small.
spectator mode because it also gives me a chance just to like see the size of the overall dungeon. And looks like there's a little side room over here that we didn't light up. I don't remember what was in here. There's a loot box. Oh, another mithril
Oh yeah,
pickaxe.
this is one of the rooms that gets revealed from underneath.
Oh, yeah, this was okay. Where those, you hit the switch over here and the blaze spawner was over there. And so if you came back through here, yeah. So yeah, the pickaxe was definitely nice.
Yeah, there's a full set of the gold armor that's enchanted. Like in these
Right, that's something you
two
often
chests.
do is kind of like have a full set, but have it spread out in 2 or 4 chests kind of throughout the area.
Okay.
All right, where should we head next? I guess kind of going back forward up through the covered bridge.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the magma cubes along the way, kind of like in the little side houses over here. I guess there was a spawner, yeah, right up here.
Yeah, this spawner is mainly dangerous for if you're climbing up.
Yes, this one caused people some trouble, as I recall.
They hit hard. And then
Here is the typical, there's a little place hanging out in the bridge, and so obviously there's something to do. Oops, sorry. Something to do here, or something to see here, and I think this is maybe one of the places that you could shoot at the gas spawner. You can also see the ledge with the spawner in the nearby tower.
you can also see the little ledge underneath here.
With
There's
money!
money. And then on the other side, I think it has a little bit of money. Oh, this one is sad. Only 3 pieces of nuggets.
Literally unplayable.
Oh no, the economy's broken.
And then we get mean.
I like this trap. I love these so much. These
I
are
am
just
so
comical
glad that I
when
came
it's
at this
so-
from the opposite direction, and so I was coming from this way, and so they didn't get me.
And then some weird skeletons as well to make things a little bit more scary.
Yeah, I guess there was just the one spawner in here, I think.
There's 2.
Oh, there were 2? Okay.
Dozens.
Well, there's
Not too
a
much.
wither skeleton and a charred husk, yeah.
And then there's the second copy-pasted bridge. And here I'm trying to also kind of like show the little thing on top of the... Oh, I can use this to plant. On top of the
Oh, okay.
tower.
And it also gives you a good look at the fact that where the emerald's hidden, which I guess we can go over and just show it off. this is the one big lava column, whereas all the other ones are kind of like single bits of lava that are falling down, and so that maybe kind of hints people to come look over here where
Mm-hmm.
there's loot in the emerald.
So yeah, there's some food, and then there's an emerald block here as well.
Yeah, like in the ceiling or something.
Yeah, here it is.
I
This
see.
is visible, and then you mine it, and you're like, oh, it goes down, and then you see the actual emeralds.
Right. And is this also directly above where the entrance to the dungeon and the record is?
Yes. This
Yeah,
is
so the same. If you followed
basically.
the lava all the way down, then that brings you to. So yeah, it was kind of the main visual thing in this area that ends up directing you to both the objectives.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then you get to the opposite side. This is one of the little respite zones, as I like to call them.
Yeah,
It,
it's unusual to feel all of a sudden so protected and quiet and happy when you're amidst all of this stuff.
I try to. You see that on the path to intersection 4. I start to put these little safe zones in between just to give a breather. Because I think that's a good idea when you have a longer dungeon to give something in between.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, definitely the merchant kind of suggests that it's going to be a safer zone, and then there's also yeah like the push button sign, and you just it's well lit and
It's almost an intersection because you can branch two ways. You
mm-hmm.
can go to the castle, you can go to the mines.
Push button for shortcut.
Let's follow it.
Whee!
There's actually nothing in the command block. It's just there's a different function looking for that minecart, and then only in a small radius, so only in this line where it's riding, it
Mm-hmm.
will actually do this, and it will stop right at the lava lake. So it will
Doop.
just fall in.
And
Some
so if
people
someone
might also,
obsidianized their lava, does it just land there and stay there, or
yeah, it just stands there and does nothing
I see.
anymore. It's also you go to spectator mode. It basically goes into the void, and you see that at some other points as well. It used to be this bug for a very long time where
Oh,
minecarts would not get killed by lava, so I had to do this to make sure it would
got
get
it.
deleted.
So it falls through the lava and falls into the void.
Uh-huh.
All right. Interesting. The things we need to do. The fact that it was like spewing off like the extra minecart tracks, was that because it looked cool? Was that some accident of what you were doing? Was it
It's some accident that I was doing that I
okay?
wasn't feeling like fixing, basically. And then people who notice things might also notice that this this roof is broken from the top,
Uh-huh.
and then you find, I think
Books.
this was the mending book. Yes, the mending book with knockback and blast protection, which is nice for the upcoming area.
I don't think it ever occurred to me. Maybe I probably found it early enough. I was just about to say, like, you don't always have like gear that you feel good enough about spending a mending book on, and so you hold on to it. But I was just talking about Star Razor being such a good sword. I don't think it ever occurred to me to put mending on Star Razor, um,
Hmm.
and that would have been totally worth it in
You can put it
retrospect.
on. You can put it on a gold pickaxe, like one of the gold pickaxes you found, the enchanted ones. You could put it on Star Razor. You could put it on Eagle Eye. That's the power free bow. There are quite a few weapons that you could put it on.
Yeah.
I'm never sure because every time I make a pyramid shape, I'm always so tempted to put something underneath
Yeah,
the
imagine that.
secret
Renter tempted to
chamber.
hide a secret. I can't imagine.
What? And here we have the
Is the gravel here as
people.
part of the map, or like did an Enderman put it here?
It's
Or
it's there so that hard mode zombies won't break the door for the villager.
okay,
Just a little bit of extra protection.
got it. Hey, he sells night vision potions.
Mm-hmm.
They require
Put,
golden
put them
carrots.
here.
Okay, so that's expensive,
Yes.
but it does at least give you a way to do that. And yeah, I don't remember if we talked about it offline or not. The other possibility, other than splash potions and night vision, like one of the disadvantages of night vision potion is once you use it, like sometimes then the whole area gets overwhelming and you wish you could turn it off. And so, like a night vision helmet of some sort as like a piece of loot that you could, switch out with your normal helmet or something, to be able to
Oh
toggle it
yeah.
on and off would be a nice thing.
I think I think I actually had one of those in Corona Myriads, where it was a torch that if you put it in your offhand, you would automatically get night vision for like 2 seconds, and then you
Yeah,
basically put it away.
yeah. So something like that um, would be nice.
That's a good
Um,
idea.
but
To
yeah, just having
rehab.
the night vision potions also would be nice because I'm sure I would have. Well, given how expensive they are, I'm not sure if I would have, but I would have liked to at least had the option to use them.
Hmm. So after Verde Passage, which has been the most difficult area so far,
Uh
you would
huh.
basically get to the three intersection areas, which are a bit easier, and then after that you would get to the two harder ones again, which is the Nether area and the submarine castle.
Right. So
So it's
basically,
like
the
a
things
kind
that are kind of like past an area, past the intersection,
so it's kind of like
and
the valley and mountain idea of how hard everything should be.
right. And it hadn't even occurred to me that like another path people could take. Like obviously there's this, and if you go up here, it shows you that you can go up to the vertical mines from the submarine city. It didn't even occur to me that this is another way to find intersection three from intersection two, or vice versa.
Mm,
Actually along a path with signs and different things. So yeah, another just cool connected kind of thing. And so I'm glad you have that as giving the player the option to directly travel from one to the other.
yep. Mm, this might be a good place to take a small break if you want, or to
Yeah,
split an episode.
yeah, that sounds good actually. So yeah, for especially those on YouTube, we'll be back again in a future episode, and for those on Twitch, stick around and we'll be back in a couple of minutes after a short break. I could refill my water.
See you in a bit.